So the iPhone 17, the iPhone 17 Air, the 17 Pro, and the 17 Pro Max were announced, and it was an awe-dropping event. You see what I did there? Let's find out everything that was announced today and if you should order one of these phones or maybe not. Let's go ahead and discuss my event recap and reactions. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and I'm going to go ahead and speed through a couple of the first things they announced today. First of all is the AirPods Pro 3. Now these are the two, but I'm showing them here because they basically look the same. The overall design is not too different on the new generation, but what has changed is some very significant things. You can now heart rate sense with these things, which is going to allow you to track your heart rate without an Apple Watch on you. Along with the fitness app, you can track workouts on the phone. So you can basically have your AirPods in, have your iPhone, and go ahead and use these. Also, they're not going to be sweat resistant, so that's a good thing as well. They also have improved battery life, which is a very big thing for these type of headphones because these wireless earbuds, you always want to have the longest battery life because they are small and you know that you're not going to get the best on a lot of them, but they've been getting better across the industry, and Apple has improved these to be really great now, up to 10 hours when using transparency or 8 hours without. Now, they also said that they have the best noise canceling on any wireless headphone. So we'll have to see if that's true, but I'm definitely excited for those. I've been waiting for them to update those for a while, even though I don't talk about AirPods Pro too much. That's definitely an exciting upgrade, I would say, because with the AirPods, it's not really the design that matters so much, as they've been pretty perfected here. It's really the experience. So longer battery life, better noise canceling. These things are great for the AirPods Pro 3. Keeping the price the same at around $249 is a really good thing because I don't think anybody this year, with the way the economy is going and everything, want to see price upgrades on basically anything. They want to keep things the same. Next thing they talked about was the Apple Watch Ultra. Now this is the original. I didn't upgrade to the 2 because I thought it was too similar to the original, and the new one actually looks pretty similar to the original as well. So if you're looking for a total redesign, they didn't do that. However, what they did do was increase the screen size. So I'm going to have a bit of a smaller border, and if you do want a better looking or just a brighter screen, a better screen on your Apple Watch Ultra, this Ultra 3 is definitely going to be the way to go for you. This also has better battery life on the newer one as well, which is great because it's already had good battery life. And these are going to now be able to track high blood pressure as well, which is pretty cool to see that you'll be able to do that here on the Apple Watch Ultra 3. The Series 11 was also announced. That thing has like 2 times better scratch resistance, but generally kind of looks the same as the Apple Watch Series 10. They're now getting 5G support, which is a very big thing, new sleep scores and stuff of that sort. The Apple Watch SE also was announced, and that's going to have some of the faster chip of some of the older Apple Watches prior to this year. And it's going to give you 5G and a couple more features as well, while basically retaining a similar look. So all of these are going to be priced at the exact same price. So you're just getting basically faster, brighter screens, especially on the Ultra 3. And just overall, just a little bit of better features on the inside, mostly in the way of that new blood pressure tracking and the 5G and the better scratch resistance. So I think the Apple Watch updates are good. They're not overly exciting to me, but they're definitely better Apple Watches than before. Okay, so let's talk about the very first iPhone, the iPhone 17. Now this obviously is a 16, you can tell by this purple color, but they are offering now a 6.3-inch screen. Now that screen would actually match that of the iPhone 16 Pro of last year. So 16 Pro has 6.3. The base 17 is going to get the iPhone 16 Pro screen. It has a 120 hertz finally. So no iPhones that you're going to buy going forward will have less than a ProMotion display. It's about time. I've been talking about this in my videos for the past several years. Been waiting on it. It just always seemed weird how I'm paying $800 for a phone with a 60 hertz panel when the competition has been putting 90 hertz, 120 hertz for the past several years. So that to me just makes the base model automatically a must upgrade for people with iPhone 13, 12, 11. I think I had a comment the other day that said, if Apple doesn't put a 120 hertz display on the base model, I'm staying with my iPhone 12. Well, to that commenter, looks like you're going to be upgrading this year because they are going 120 hertz. So some of the other things we do have, looking at my notes, I see we have a new ceramic shield on the front of the iPhone 17, which is going to make it basically stronger than ever and more crack resistance, especially scratch resistance, 3 times better. So the phone is going to be more durable than ever before. You're also getting the A19 chip. However, they're doing that thing again where you have the base chip here in the iPhone 17 and you don't have the Pro chip on this phone. So it's not the same chip across the board. It's a little bit less powerful, but it's still way faster than the iPhone 15 and way faster than the iPhone 14. It also has a faster GPU. So even the base 17 users, you're not going to be left behind. This is really an exciting year for base users just because you're getting basically like the Pro 5-core GPU, you're getting a 6-core CPU, you're getting 8 gigabytes of RAM, you're going to get yourself just great performance on the iPhone 17 versus the older base iPhones. Like you're basically getting a Pro iPhone at the price of $799. Yes, if you compare it to the actual Pros, there are things you are sacrificing, but generally these are like Pros of like last year, basically on the base models. So this is a very good year if you want to get a base iPhone. Even general consumers, the average user is going to get great features here. They also upgraded the front-facing camera to be an 18 megapixel sensor that will also let you do different angles due to the new square sensor, which will allow you to put like landscape photos on the front and also just get all different kind of angles without having to go like this to get your selfie. So that is a really big deal, I would say, for those of you who are solo creators. You're taking photos of yourself, videos of yourself, and you're posting to social. That's going to be a very big deal. Also, for those of you who like to frame family photos, friend photos, group photos, you're at a concert, whatever, you need like 5 people in the shot. It's going to be amazing on these new 17 models. So that alone, if you're into camera, is a big deal, I would say. So they're also doing 48 megapixel and 12 megapixel cameras on the rear, but they're doing a fusion camera, so it's going to be definitely a very, very strong showing for the 17 here on the camera department. I love how even when you get the base model, you're getting a great feature set. Also, they're starting at 256 gig for the same price as the 128 gig last year. That's also a better deal. You're getting double the storage at the same price. Big deal there. Now, of course, because you have the higher resolution cameras, you might use a little bit more storage, but generally it's still a better deal because you were buying a phone with double less storage last year. Now you can get it this year with more storage. So this makes the iPhone 17 base model a much better value this year. Let's talk about the next one, the iPhone 17 Air. Now, I don't have the iPhone 17 Air or any of the 17s yet. I just watched the event just like you. I'm going to pre-order Friday just like you, but I do have a lot of thoughts about it, so I will share those with you. So first of all, let's kind of recap what it's going to bring. It's going to bring a 5.6 millimeter design. The phone does have a ceramic shield 2 on the front and the rear. They did go with 4 different color options. You get like a black, a white, a gold, and a blue. Very similar to what they did with the MacBook Air. They're doing here for the iPhone Air. In addition to that, they found a way to make it super thin while still providing a very highly efficient battery. And now, they didn't say if it's a silicon carbon, but I think it might be because they are saying the battery life is really, really good for even this iPhone Air. We'll have to test that. I do have the Galaxy S25 Edge, and this was kind of like the first phone this year with that super thin, razor thin design, and the battery was not great. So if they can really outshine this phone right here, it's going to be an exciting piece to pick up. It's also made from 80% recycled aluminum, and the phone does have the A19 Pro chip, but also it has something I've heard a lot of people talk about, which is the 6.5 inch display being one of their favorite sizes ever. Like on the older 11 Pro Max, that was a 6.5. So this might be actually a sweet spot for people who want just a 6.5 inch screen. A lot of people thought 6.7 and 9 on these newer Pros, we're talking 15 Pro Max and 16 Pro Max, were too big. Well, the iPhone Air might actually fix that problem for you. And if you thought 6.3 is still a little bit too small, we might have the perfect size. I will be doing size comparisons on this channel and phone comparisons for the next several months to help you make the decision all the way through the holidays. So definitely looking forward to that, and stay tuned if you want to see size comparisons. But it's definitely a great year for those of you who want a thin, light form factor iPhone that does give you not a super huge screen, not a super small screen at 6.5 inches. The phone also is going to have the very power efficient modem in there, the C1X. In addition to that, it will be having camera system with 48 megapixel fusion camera, which allows you to kind of get a 2x telephoto on a single camera. In addition to that, 48 megapixel shots, and with the computational photography and the ML and all that stuff that is included, you're essentially going to get a phone that feels like you have dual cameras on the rear, even though you have one. In addition, on the front camera, it's going to have those same features from the iPhone 17, where you can landscape rotate and kind of get different angles and views of people. So while this phone does give you that feeling like, oh, this is old school, I got a single camera on the front and the rear, the actual fact of the matter is that you're going to have a camera on the front that is giving you multiple different angles. So it's going to be like you have multiple different cameras in the front. And on the rear, it's also going to give you more zoom than you expected, while still having very sharp and different millimeter ranges, even on a single camera. So this camera system, while it does look single, is more like a dual to triple camera setup. So it's definitely not too shabby for a phone this thin. If you are concerned about the battery, they also brought out a new slim profile MagSafe accessory that will go on the back and not add too much bulk, but will extend your battery life to 40 hours. So for those of you who are worried, oh, I want this thin phone, but I don't want horrible battery life, you have that option. And I'm not implying that it does have horrible battery life. They're claiming it's an all-day phone, so we'll see if that comes true, because my S25 Edge wasn't quite an all-day phone with my type of use. But if this one is, it gets the automatic W over the S25 Edge. So I've been looking at what I think are basically the same design iPhones over the past several years: the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the 16 Pro Max, the 14 Pro Max, heck, even the iPhone 13 Pro Max has been, looks kind of similar to what we had all the way up until last year. But finally they changed the design and we now have an all new looking 17 Pro Max. They even changed the whole body. It's a unibody aluminum design, which allowed them to get a stronger structure on the phone, which improves durability, but also allows you to stuff in a larger battery. They removed the area where the physical SIM card would have been, which extended the battery up, offering up to 2 hours better battery life on video playback. Now, why that's a big deal is because the 16 Pro Max was already a very good phone in battery. I've been talking about it all year, how this phone just continues to impress. To add an extra 2 hours, we're just pushing it further. It's not quite what I thought, though. I thought we were going to see like a way better battery life phone, but not quite. For those of you who wanted a titanium build, the reason they went with this aluminum structure was to better dissipate heat. I've talked about in my speed test multiple times how the iPhone doesn't have better sustained performance than these phones with vapor chambers like the S25 Ultra and other models. However, by going with this aluminum structure, they have now enabled this phone to dissipate heat through not only the vapor chamber they included, but out of the aluminum enclosure. So this overall design is allowing for a phone that's going to be able to run top level titles on the iPhone, high quality games without feeling warm even after hours. They're saying hour after hour, basically. So you can play it for a couple hours, still not going to give you any heat issues. That is major for those people who tend to do stuff that really pushes these phones, including even if you're like running the camera, it should be a lot cooler to the touch, which tends to heat up phones too if you're running like a 4K 120 or a 4K 60 clip. Those type of things that push the phone should stay a lot cooler to the touch. I think it's overkill for casual users, but for those of you who actually use your phone in a pro way, this is a big deal, I would say, for these phones. And they come in this cosmic looking orange, this blue color, and a silver color. If you notice, there's no black color. Now, I think this is going to irritate a few users, especially people who are into darker phones. These phones are always kind of like classic colors, like a white and a black, and not having a black color option. I don't really love that because I always thought the Pro, like the space black phones, always look really nice. They go nice with like cameras and gear and headphones and black watch. Where's the black iPhone Pro? I don't see it there. So I'm not a big fan of that. Maybe they'll bring it back, but you can get the black in the base or the iPhone Air, but that's not good for the people who want the Pro, because the Pro phone, a lot of people who are pros use a lot of black accessories and black things. So I don't think everyone's going to love that, but the navy is going to be, to me, the best option. I'm not a fan of orange. Personally, you see I'm wearing red. I want a red iPhone. Look at the channel. You can see the channel logo is in red. I want the red iPhone Pro, but orange is what it is. Maybe I'll get one of the options so we can look at it, but it's not my favorite color, honestly. But kind of looks like the action button on the Apple Watch Ultra here. Not my favorite color. Let me know your thoughts about it. I know it seems like every time the main color that's being advertised, everyone seems to love it, but personally, I'm not a fan of it. That's just my honest take on that one. Another great thing about these Pros is they have increased zoom, 8 times zoom and 56% larger sensor than before. So the actual quality, and we can do 4K 120 as well. So the actual quality of these phones is, the cameras should be much better. They also start at 256 gig, just like last year, and the prices are staying the same, which is really good news for the iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. So wrapping it up, there was a lot discussed today, but to me, and also the pre-orders, if you want to know, they start Friday, September 19th, and the prices are as follows. 17 is $799. The iPhone Air is $999 to start. That one's actually an increase over the iPhone 16 Plus, but here's why I think it's worth it. It has ProMotion. It's still cheaper than the Pro and has a larger screen. And it also has, just an overall thinner design in this phone. And we'll see if it has better battery life. I don't know. But if you want a 16 Plus, you got like maybe a week to go ahead and scoop one up if you want this phone still. But it's a $100 price increase. But for all the innovation there, I do think it might be worth that $100 increase. None of the phones got drastic boosts in price though. $799 on the base, $999 on the Air, $1099 on the Pro, and $1199 on the Pro Max. All the Apple Watches stayed the same, as did the AirPods Pro. So Apple, you made a good decision not increasing the prices, especially with the current state of the economy right now. So very, very good decision there. And I don't think it's a major risk as the iPhone Air got a price increase, because that's not their main seller anyway. I feel like that's the risk taker phone right there, while keeping the good stuff that people are going to pick up anyway. So if you had to ask me what I thought about these upgrades overall, I would say these were definitely better than last year's. I don't know that this is a super cycle year. It might be, but I do think that next year, or when they go all glass foldable, those are probably still going to be more exciting for the tech enthusiasts. But I do think that those of you coming from older iPhones, we're talking 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, 11 Pro Max, if you still have one, 12, 13, 14, these phones, these are some drastic changes, I think, to your experience overall. Better cameras, better battery life, ProMotion displays on all of them. This is a great year for you guys. If I had to choose one that I like the most, I'm probably going to, honestly, I'm most excited about the iPhone 17 Pro Max in navy, personally. But if I was to say the one that actually got me like, whoa, that's a nice design, that was the iPhone Air. I thought the iPhone Air was a pretty beautiful looking smartphone with that thin factor. Single camera reminded me of the iPhone XR, the simpler iPhone days. I do love the way the iPhone Air looks, if I'm being totally honest with you. But wrapping it up, let me know your thoughts on the iPhone event, everything you thought about it. If you haven't checked it out, just go to the website and tell me what you think about the upcoming phones. I will be covering each and every one of them on this channel, so you want to be subscribed for that as they do arrive. I'm going to spread the content out because I'm only one person. I can't do it all in one day, but I will be spreading the content out over the next month or so and going into the Christmas season. So you'll have plenty of research you can do here on this channel to help you make decisions. I'll be doing comparisons. Let me know your comparison ideas you want to know. The questions you have. We will be doing speed tests to battle that performance as well. So let us know down below in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.